Good day, podcast community. Man, get ready because we got the Godfather in the house. The Godfather of the business, video business. Hold it. Excuse me. Let me get it right. The video business card.
There you go.
So, Gabe, welcome to the show, and we're glad you're here. Tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into our podcast.
All right. Well, thanks, Pete. I appreciate you having me here. So my name is Gabe O'Neill. As you can see, I'm widely known as the Godfather of the video business card. We built custom video business cards for our clients, and they're really something that if you're thinking of the Popples or the dot cards or whatever, it's nothing like that at all. We have something that we introduce. It's called a splash video that introduces you. We create them all custom from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
and from there, when people like you can get it by either scanning either one of the QR codes that I have here. If you have WhatsApp, you can do the lower one, or the text. If you're using text, you can do the upper one. That's going to create a text that will be sent to me, or to send to my service, and then when that happens, you get my card, and I capture your cell phone number. So it also has, and that cell phone number goes to my CRM automatically. It's something that we only send out. You can opt out at any time if you want, but we only send like two or three messages a month, so it's nothing that we don't pester you with stuff. Anyway, but that's all included. There's video, and we do a lot with leverage video. It's just a video card that's much more of a marketing system. Let's put it that way. It's something like you've never seen. So I encourage you to just check it out by just trying it. Other than that, we have two other products.
Hold it. Before you get into that, I want to
Yep.
I want to dive into really because I love ecosystems. I love lead generation because if you don't have leads, you have nothing. You have a hobby.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people they spend a lot of money on all this stuff and they haven't figured out the leads part of it. So let's go back a few years because we know each other and I've seen you evolve into your community and what you've done with innovation. So let's go back to when you started the digital card. What were you thinking about when you jumped into this? Because you have a background in innovation and software, but what were
Mhm.
you thinking about when you decided to make the move into the video
No,
business?
that's a good question because when this whole thing started, kind of by accident, I would say. I've been a software developer for many, many years. I've built systems for Panasonic, Sony, the DEA, and a lot of different companies. But my whole career has been building systems that other people use, and so that's really, and it for me that feeds on itself, because if I'm giving other people value, that somehow they're solving a problem, or they're getting business from it, or something's happening because of what I built, that's part of my paycheck, right? So
Mhm.
that's just been my whole career. And then when we moved here to Atlanta, we didn't really know anybody, and I know that it takes a long time in a networking environment to get people to recommend you. So really wanted to expedite that process. I said, well, what if I build them something, give them something for free, don't ask for anything in return? And that so that idea became like, what if I built them, I don't know, a digital business card? So the digital business card was, I had one. It was a PDF file, and I looked at that and I said, "No, this is garbage. I can't send this out." And this is in 2018, before like all the, since the pandemic, everybody's been rushing to do this.
Mhm.
But in 2018, I had this PDF file and it was garbage. So I said, "No, let me redesign it. Something that's easy to share, something that is powerful, something that's custom done, so that when it's custom done, you share it with a different energy than you would a normal card that looks like everybody else's. And when
Mhm.
that when you share it with that energy, that rubs off on other people. But anyway, so I just started giving them away, just
Mhm.
as a way to get to know people. And that
Mhm.
first meeting where I stood up and said, "Anybody want a free digital card? Come see me after the meeting." Normally, when people don't know you, you're just gonna the meeting's over, you're just standing by yourself and everybody's yapping at each other. Well, they are all lined up to get one. And I thought, wow, that was effective. That worked. And so I did that for an entire year. And then
Mhm.
when people they started saying, "Hey, you got to get this card. It gives me business and all this other stuff," started telling their friends about it. I said, "Well, are people going to really pay for this stuff?" But I had my own ceilings that I limited myself in the vision of it. But when I pulled those away, I thought, wow, this could be a really good business. Or if I can affect the bottom line of an entire company by getting all their salespeople to be more effective, and get them more, help them actually close the business through our technology.
Mhm.
And that's something I want to do. So in 2019, we turned it into a business, and we've just been adding and adding and adding features. There's one of my clients has a keyword, which is Kaizen, and that's the Japanese word for continuous improvement. And
Mhm.
that's, I take that that's something that's right up my alley. That's all I ever do. I've been as a matter of fact, when I get off this podcast, I've got another thing. I'm going to redo my video for my video card because it's old, and we need to do a better one. So we're always doing something better.
I love that. I'm a big proponent of ecosystems, and I love the ecosystem you created. And the one thing I want our viewers to take home, you have three C's. Would you share what those three C's means to your ecosystem? That would be helpful because they're spot on.
Oh, you mean the connect, capture, and convert? Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's just actually it. I mean, we do. If you think of those three words, which actually capture, connect, and convert, that's how we normally say it. But we capture the leads, and we connect with the people, and then we convert that to business.
Hmm.
Really, everything that we do is designed to get our clients more business. So when we like, for example, if I see a blue spinny thing on, oh, look at that, that's really cool. I'm not gonna add that. I don't care about stuff like that just because it looks cool. Or, like, Microsoft Word does this all the time. They add stuff to it, to the things, to their software all the time. Wait a minute, I used to know how to do this. All I want to do is this. So we only add things to our products or build products that are designed to get business for people. So if a feature comes up, like, for example, we just recently brought in WhatsApp to, instead of texting, you can, if you're a WhatsApp user, you can scan that QR code, and we can communicate through WhatsApp. Well, guess what? There's 100 million WhatsApp users in the U.S. alone. So even if you're not looking for international clients, you can connect with a lot more people that way. That's going to
Hmm.
get you more business. And then, again, because it is international, now you're open to the whole world. You don't, because the texting only works in the US. So things of that nature is just always, just whatever it is that we add, we just want it to bring more business into our clients.
I love it. Before our podcast, I think I was looking for maybe the correct spelling on your name, which I messed it up anyway. But I Googled you, and so I was communicating with your bot. I
Okay.
like that communication. I've communicated with bots before, and some are good, some aren't. But there's definitely a degree of personalization to yours. What is that? Why should a person be aware of that 24/7 communication avenue?
Okay. So the chatbot's a separate entity. Is one of our three. I call it the trilogy of products that we have. It's a separate entity that we created recently, and it's interesting that you say that because the first couple of renditions that I did failed miserably. I keep a record of what people ask it and how it answers. And then one of my clients got on it, and said, "Well, I was using your bot." And I said, "I know, it vomited all over itself, didn't it?" Yeah, it did. And so I was actually going to trash it because I said I can't sell something like this. But that's a something used. It uses something called fuzzy searching, which most of the bots use, and they're just not reliable. And so I said, well, before I trash it, let me see if I can improve it. So I asked ChatGPT, why is my bot failing like this? How can I make it better? And it um, said, well, you want to get into embedding vectors and cosine factories? And even though I didn't know what that he was talking about, I said, well, let's take a run at it. I've always learned, I've always, jumped into things like that and
Hmm.
come out better on the other end. And so spent about a month and built a better one. So what we do is we train it. We train it a lot by have it scan people's websites. They give us documents and there's prompts that we give it. But it also you'll notice my card. I'm the Godfather, right? So it's got to when it opens up, it's got to mention the Godfather in some way. So and the picture, of course, is my avatar, my Godfather avatar. Again, it's all about branding, right? So it's something to put. I encourage people to put their personality in everything they do because
Hmm.
otherwise you're just a facade, you're just a logo, you're just a company. People want to work with people, not with companies, right? So in my chatbot, it knows my tone, it knows my level of professionalism, and it knows that it wants to throw in some fun stuff every once in a while. And I was really happy with the result in that the questions that you asked it, did it give you uh, correct? Did it give you answers that
It
it
was,
made
and
sense?
it was even good because it had your branding colors. I don't know if that was just the reddish black was how it communicated to me, which I love colors.
Hmm.
So I like, and the old book Differentiate or Die is a classic because if you're just like everybody else, nothing's going to stand out. So your
Absolutely. Yeah.
is absolutely critical, especially like you said, because we're on the same bandwagon when we talk about people buy from people. They don't buy from businesses. They buy from people. And social media developed that over the last 10 or so years that I have a company that I do business with, a primary care called ALO. And
Hmm.
I reached out to the guy who's the CEO on LinkedIn because it's not even a word. There's no personality behind that company.
Hmm.
People connect to people. They don't connect to companies. And so it was like, no, that's not my thing, I think was his answer. And I think people confuse branding with I don't have to show everybody what I ate for breakfast. I don't
Right.
have to share everything about my family, my kids, my grandkids. It's your brand that's getting shining out because if you don't shine out, nothing shines in.
Hmm.
So I love that you said that. Now I want you to tell our viewers, like, because you have trademarked things. Why did you go that route? And share with our viewers the importance of trademarking.
Well, again, it's just anything when you do stuff like that, it protects you for one, but for two, it just gives you a sense of more legitimacy. But I want to go back a little bit to what you were talking about before about branding. One of the things that we do is yes, we customize the chatbot to make it look like it came from your website or whatever. So we use all those colors.
Mhm.
But when I was doing, I had a charity that my daughter built in the early 2000s, and I was helping her get it out on social media. And she had drawn this logo that I thought was really cool. She was young; she was only 6 at the time. She'd drawn this logo, and it was called "Kids Are Heroes." So, I used my logo as my avatar all the time because I
Mhm.
was really proud of it. People kept saying, "Don't use your logo. They don't want to connect with your logo. They want to connect with you." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. You don't know what you're talking about." Yeah. So it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, like to understand. Like my logo, we actually did. I have that's part of what we do is we create custom logos, and I finally came up with the logo that you see here, which I love it, love it, love, love, love it. but I never use it as my avatar. I would, I think that you getting, but you have to be different, and you have to shine through, and you have to make yourself somebody that wants to talk to you. The funny thing about The Godfather was, um, when that somebody first called me that when I was giving them away. Oh, he's the godfather of the digital business card. And they started saying, "Hey, hey," I said, "No, no, 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 no. I don't want to be associated with a horse's head or any of that stuff. That's not a very good brand to be connected with." But they wouldn't stop. They just kept calling me that.
Yeah.
And I said, then I decided when I've started realizing that as soon as they hear that, they start calling me Godfather. They just lose their guard right away. It
Yeah.
just opens them right up. And so I went the other direction. I went all in with it. And so and again, it's just part of my personality is that I'll throw things out that entertains me, makes me laugh, and if other people don't get it, well, sorry, but it's just the way I am, and so I
Yeah.
think that just you have to stand out,
Yeah.
and The Godfather helps me do that, and consistent branding helps me do that, and our video card, because it comes out in such a dramatic way, that helps me do that. So yeah, it's something that I really believe in.
Yeah, we're a lot alike in that. I mean, I geek out on people laughing, and I wear two color shoes because by accident I had an AFO, which was after my stroke. I had to have support, and I couldn't change out the tennis shoe every time. So I kind of started wearing these two color shoes. Well, people would talk to me. They would say, "Hey, did you know you have two color shoes?" And I'd have the most interesting conversations with people because they feel like when you do stand out, you talk to people. So now
Mhm,
I don't wear the AFO anymore, but I wear two color shoes only to have people talk to me, to have a conversation, to just have fun with them. And I think
mhm.
if you can't have fun, I mean, life's boring. You just have
Exactly,
fun.
exactly.
So why don't I want you to share with our community, because we believe in just what you said. People buy from people. You got to brand yourself. So as you're innovating, which I believe in innovation, I mean, if you're not using Kaizen, you'll be behind the eight ball pretty quickly because AI
Mhm,
is changing the world. It's flipping it upside down. I like how you said that you put that problem into Chat GPT and you asked it to improve your botting
mhm.
strategy. Tell our viewers, like, how are you using AI in your business, a local business that's going global? How are you using it on a regular basis so they can understand a business owner's mindset and how they're
Well
leveraging it?
it's funny because I use it, and sometimes it's the first thing I go to in the morning, and it's become because it knows a lot more than I do, right? And guess what? I can trust that what it's saying, even though it says it makes mistakes, and yeah, it does, but I can trust what it's saying is pretty darn accurate.
Mhm.
So as opposed to me hiring somebody for $500 an hour that can tell me something that's totally false, I can just go to this thing and ask it, and it'll come and ask it about anything, and it will help me. So it's really turned into when I discovered that it could help me program faster, it could help me build these tools faster, it could help me, then I started asking it marketing questions. And a good example is, I started with the video business card. Along the way, we built a chat bot, and we also have something called a virtual video book, which is a way to break up your videos in really nice package, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, "Oh, by the way, AI," I said, I've been going forward with the video business card, and oh, by the way, I also have these other two things. If you're interested, should I should I continue to do that, or should I bring the other two tools out into the forefront?" And it said, "Absolutely, you should. You are an innovations company, and you need to showcase all your innovations, not just the one. So, and I don't do everything it tells me. I mean, but a lot of the stuff it's back and forth, and then I might feed it another thing, and it say, yeah, that's actually a better idea, and yada. I mean, it's like having a partner, and
Mhm.
um, so what happened from that is we developed. Um, I basically reworked my website to bring in the three things as a main thing. I redid my virtual video book to more include that.
Mhm.
And my pricing now that I had my highest price that I had, my biggest ticket item was $1,000. It was for the Godfather video business card. And
Mhm.
now we have put a put a package together called the Godfather Trilogy that's $4,000 because it has everything that we do in it. And I
Mhm.
thought, wow, that's a big jump. Are people going to really react to it? And so when I've been doing things, they haven't batted an eye because they see the value in everything, and that $4,000 can turn into $20,000 or $50,000 in a very short period of time because of all the stuff that it does. So yeah, it's really funny. I feel kind of weird about it because I'm really kind of talking to this thing a lot during the day, but everything that I put forth to it comes back with something like there's every once in a while it'll come up and say it'll say, well, you should do this, and I said, no, I'm not doing that. Right? This is against my personality or whatever. But I said, what if I do this? And it's a funny story. I asked it once, are you a yet do you like you seem to compliment me a lot. Are you programmed to do that? I said, no, I'm not a yes bot. We're supposed to be respectful and offer good things, but encouraging and yet so okay, fine. So and when I ask it a question it doesn't agree with, it'll say, "Well, you could do that, but here are some alternatives." And then and this is what I recommend for you. So I think it's a pretty cool way of doing it. But one thing I gave it, we were working back and forth on something,
Mhm.
and I came up, I said, "Okay, I don't like any of these ideas. This is what I really wanna do." And it said, "You know what? That's a fantastic idea." And I got all happy because it liked it. But it's just so weird that you're actually introduced this is a computer that's talking to you, not a person.
I know.
It's very, very weird, but it's been extremely helpful, and I'm not the person who jumps on any bandwagon.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Beatles when they first came out. I didn't like Led Zeppelin when they first came out. I mean, so it's always takes me a while to have things grow on me.
Mhm.
The first thing when AI came out, I thought, okay, whatever. But when I started using it, I started seeing the value of it. And anybody that's not using it in their business right now, they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'll tell you a short story of my AI. It was a couple of years ago. My partner now has an AI agency up in Canada. And so he was like, "Pete, how are you using AI?" And I said, "I don't have time for that stuff. I'm doing my podcasting." And he said, "Just play with it." He kept after me, "Just play with it. Just start." And then there got to a time, this was a couple of years, I was putting together a course, mindset, goals, and habits. So I said, okay, let me just try this AI. So I did, and I about fell out of my chair on just the first prompt. I mean, it
Right.
wasn't like I had worked with it like
Right.
I do now, but it would have taken me 6 months to a year because I'm not a being dyslexic. That is not my forte,
Right.
putting those things together. But all of a sudden, now when I create courses, I mean, I prompt back and forth a bunch of times, but it's part of everything I do. And I was reluctant, just like you, is to say, it just it's one of those fad things or
Mhm.
something like that. But wait until robots hit. I mean, it's going to be weird. I mean, really weird when you're having somebody cook your meals and drive you and do all the things around the house and it's a robot.
Right. Yep.
We're
It's
in for
coming.
some change. And I love that you are innovative and changing. So I'd love to get you digging more into it. But before we go, I want you to share with our viewers a little bit about your ecosystem. So what can a person expect? I forget what you call it, the trilogy, the
The
Godfather.
Godfather trilogy.
Okay. What would they get with something like that? Because the reason I want you to answer this is being from digital marketing, I don't do that anymore. 50% of stuff works and 50% doesn't. And I've always wanted to get a higher percentage of stuff that works because people waste money every single day on stuff that doesn't get them diddly squat. So
Hmm.
just kind of share with our viewers as we wind down a little bit about the trilogy system. Eco.
Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to give them a caveat. It doesn't work by itself. If you get a video business card and you don't send it out to anybody, it's not going to work. So it's for the person who's actively marketing with themselves and is looking for something different, looking for something way out of the box for them to shine and for them to stand out. That's where that's our sweet spot. So we have the video business card. And again, if you think of a digital business card, throw away all that knowledge because it has not really little to do with us. There's something that you really need to experience. The second product, and so the trilogy has the video business card, the virtual video book, and Accelerant Chat, the chatbot. The virtual video book, as I said, it's a way to explain, to break down a large video. Like for example, my video book goes through all the 6 revenue drivers that are in our video card, plus the other 2 revenue drivers, the accelerant chat and the virtual video book. And then there's pricing and then a conclusion kind of thing. So that's 10 chapters. It's a total of 30 minutes, but they're all broken up in like 1 minute here, 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, whatever. So it's just much more digestible bite. So that's the virtual video book. There's tons of use cases. And if you don't believe me, see chapter 8 in the virtual video book and it'll tell you about them.
Mhm.
And then the accelerant chatbot. And again, that is something that it just doesn't answer questions. It'll say, well, this person's pretty interested. Well, maybe you'd like to be on a call with them. And they say yes, and then it gives you the calendar link. So and it can also capture their information, and we can even set it up so that if they want to talk directly to you, they can say, ask the boss and this question, and it'll text the question right to you. So there's, again, it's everything all inclusively. Oh, and the fourth thing that we actually do a sales funnel page, because I did one recently and I thought, well, let's throw that into the trilogy. And so but everything is designed, everything in that trilogy is designed just to get you more business. And as far as the ROI, just from the video business card alone, I've had a clients get a 1,200% ROI in their first 3 days. I had another person took it to a trade show. He got 492 leads in one afternoon. They were all textable from his CRM. And he said he was going to turn that into 100 grand in 6 months. I had another client who told me he made $200,000 in his first year of using it. So this isn't just window dressing. It's something that really does work. And that's what so that's why I'm always happy to get up and go to work every day, because I'm providing value for
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah, that makes so much of a difference. So, as we wind down, I want you to tell our viewers how can they activate and see the system. What would be the best
You
way?
can scan if you scan the QR, the texting code above me, it'll create that text that you see below you. So you just need to create a new text and put the word Gabe only, just Gabe in the message, the number 321-421-5213. And we picked that number for a reason. It's pretty easy to remember. If you do that, you'll get my card. My schedule's right on it, so we can have a conversation. You'll get access to, the website, which which has a lot of information, obviously. And if you hit the Show Me More, you'll see it. It'll just take you right through it. Here's a virtual video book. This is what you want to learn more about. That, click this. You want to learn more about the video card, click this, et cetera, et cetera. So there's, it just makes it easy for you to figure out everything about what we do. And that's really what people want. They want an easy on ramp to you. I had I had somebody told me, you know what? I tried to get a hold of 6 people in this networking group and only was able to do it with 3 because they all had your card. All I did was text the keyword and I got it right on their schedule, and I missed with the other 3. So it makes it really really easy for people to get to you. So and that's the best way to contact me.
That is awesome. Yeah, I know. I've known Trent Trees for a number of years, and he's been singing your story for years. And he's a networker. But you're exactly right. It's amazing how many people don't return phone calls and get back to you because they don't
Mhm.
have a system. They're overwhelmed, and that's not an excuse because you have to follow up with people, give them what they want, and let them decide what they want to do. So I love igniting prosperity through innovation. So, what would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from our podcast today?
Well, that would be one of the things. Another thing that that I think is pretty powerful is that we have 3 tools, we have 1 vision, and we have endless opportunity. And that's just really the short and sweet way to say that, hey, that's what we're all about. We're all about helping people get more business, but it's something that you have to be with us. You can't. It doesn't do it by itself, but we have the tools to help you do it in a way that will just really skyrocket your digital profile and get you out there and hopefully get you a lot more business.
Awesome. Man, Gabe, thank you so much for sharing. I love when people talk about branding, leads, and growing their business because we're in the most incredible time of our lifetime of opportunity and abundance. And if we activate the things that are available to us, the future is bright. And that's
Absolutely.
yeah, I love that. So thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast, and
Thanks for
we'll
having me, Pete.
love to have you back for our virtual event, which we're doing the third Friday, and a live event, which we're doing on the fourth Friday. Because I love your 3 things. We always work in threes, and that's something I'd love to talk to you further about. So thanks so much for being a guest.